And I remember we was laying there one day, and Johnny said, to us he was JR, because that's his real name. JR said, one day you're going to hear me singing on that radio. And I just kind of grinned because I didn't believe him. And then Jack said, I'm going to be a preacher. Well, I knew Jack was going to be a preacher because that's all he talked about was the Lord. He had a paper route, and he would take his Bible in his little basket, and as he would go deliver papers, he'd tell people about the Lord. And as the movie showed, Walk the Line movie, that part where Jack had the terrible accident was the actual way it really happened. And it was really hard for all of our family that was still here to watch that segment. They had a family release before it was released to the theaters. And to see that happen on a big movie screen, it was like we relived it because that's the way it happened. But Jack was so in tune with Jesus. He loved the Lord. He was called to preach. And Jack was an influence on Johnny and me and all of us because, as I said, Christ was such a daily part of our lives. And I was in the room when Jack went on to see the Lord. He was talking about angels, and Johnny was right there. It was so devastating, as you can imagine. Just like the movie showed, there's a lot of things that the movie didn't show that it couldn't be shown. The grief and as you would understand that what a family like that would go through. And just before Jack passed away, Jack said to our daddy, "Will you meet me in heaven?" And Daddy said, "Yes, I will." And he dropped down on his knees and gave his heart to the Lord right there, just before Jack passed. And our life was full of grief for all the years, even up until my mom passed away in '91. Every month of May, it was that same grief all over again. But I can gloriously say that they're with him now. They're with the Lord. And going back to our childhood, Johnny would, after Jack passed away, Johnny became my big protective brother. I remember we had to walk about a fourth of a mile to the bus stop every morning to catch the big yellow school bus to go to Dice to school. It was a school that had about 300 students, and I was in grade school, of course, and Johnny was he's 6 years older than me in high school. And one day we came home from school and had to get off at that same place and walk the fourth of a mile to our house. It was raining so hard. It was raining sideways. The rain came this way and the wind and everything. And as a little girl, I thought, I don't want to get wet, just typical little scared child. And to this day, I don't know where Johnny got that umbrella. To this day, I don't. Because a lot of people, that was a luxury. But he said, don't worry. And it was Reba, Tommy, and me. And he held that umbrella over us, and he took the rain to protect us. That was the kind of guy. That's just a small example of the many, many, many things that he would do just as a loving, protective big brother. I felt like I could do most anything, go hide behind him. But our lives were every Sunday morning, every Sunday night, and every Wednesday night. We'd ride to church, sometimes with our neighbor in an old pickup truck. And I remember the door on the right wouldn't close and had to hold the door together. And Johnny and me and Reba and Tommy would sit at the back of the truck and drag sticks along the gravel road and watch the sparks fly. Just typical country life. But you know what? I don't ever remember a time when there wasn't love. The love was always there. We always upheld each other. And I remember, if you want to ask questions, just jump in there and ask me.
That's pretty good.
That's great.
How did I guess I'll ask two questions. Now you were talking about that John always was writing stuff. What if you could talk about just like maybe real quick about at what was the earliest age or earliest memory you have? Did he always